So we know that it represents the door to the truth. And John 10:9 says, Yeshua said, I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved. So Yeshua identifies himself as the door or the dalet. So the sound of dalet is d. Everybody say it, d. D as in dog. D, d. Very simple, short sound. And notice when you go to make the dalet, I want you to see this right here. See that little overhang? Okay, that's a real important part of dalet. So let's learn how to write it right now. We're going to have two lines. The first one is the horizontal line, which is just going to go across. Then when you pick up your pencil, you're going to be sure to leave the little overhang when you make the connecting vertical line down. Very simple. It's two vavs. So let's do it again. We're going to make the horizontal line, leave the overhang, and come down. Okay? Everybody got that? Easy? All right. So that's really made with two vavs, and we'll talk about that toward the end also. So I want you to notice that, are we okay? Get a little echo there. The Yud, He, Vav, He, which is the name of the Lord in all capital letters, that's the way it's translated in our Bibles, is almost identical to the name Judah or Yehuda in Hebrew. And Yeshua is from the tribe of Judah. But notice, the only difference, we have two Yuds, two He's, two Vavs, two He's again. What's the difference? The dalet. And what does that teach us? That the door to the Lord is through Yeshua. So it's a beautiful picture. All right, let's look at our vowel points again, because that's what we're going to use to read and sound out the words. Okay, so you know that if you see a line, you're going to say, ah. Easy. Whether it's the straight line or the straight line with the little leg, you say ah. We did last week this one with the 3 dots, and we learned it says in egg or yes or yet. So everybody say eh. This new one has only 2 dots, and it's going to say a longer sound a. Just say a. A like in they or play or any sound like that. A. Now you're going to get a fun one, and here's the first time we have a letter that's actually a vowel, and it's a vav with the dot on top. Okay, so go ahead and write that on your papers, and here's how I want you to remember that. When you see the big full moon going across the sky, what do you say? Oh, isn't that beautiful? So when you see the dot on top, it's like the big full moon going across the sky, and you're going to say, oh, that's what this letter says when it has the dot on top, okay? So let's review. Everybody say them. I'm going to point to them. Beautiful. Now, when you have this O, it's going to be in partnership with the letter that's to its right. So this is a bait. So what are you going to say? Oh my gosh, you guys are brilliant. Bow. That's exactly right. So if there were a gimel in front of it and you have the O, what would you say? Look at that. So simple. Okay, you've got it. So now we're going to read some words. Taught you this word, but now I want you to read it. So we're going to have the sound of dalet is d. And when the line is underneath it, you go this way, da, and this says t. So now read it. Beautiful. All right? And that means religion. True religion is when you come through the door to the cross. And that's what that word means. All right? And now we're going to read this word. So here we have the dalet, which says d, and this vowel point, which says ah. So you read this way. And then you read this way. What does the gimel say? G. So we have dog. Now say it quickly. And dog means fish. So if you're going to McDonald's this afternoon, you can order a filet of dog. All right, so one more. Now remember, these two are going to be partners, okay? Because this is the vowel that says And you remember that because when you see the beautiful full moon going across, you say, oh, and this reminds you of that. Okay, so this says D. So this is do. When you see the two dots, you're going to say A, and there's no vowel point, so you're just going to say the sound of the G. So dough, egg. Do it again. Dough, egg. Beautiful. And you know what that means? Worried. Worried. But if you have true religion, you'll be a fisher of men and there's no need to worry. And now you can read that in Hebrew. You're officially Hebrew readers. So congratulate yourselves. That's no easy task. Matthew. Now we're going to look at the gematria of this letter because it is made with two vavs. Okay, like that. And so this vav is worth a 6, and this is a 6, and 6 is 12. And 12 represents government. Matthew 19:28 says, so Jesus said to them, assuredly I say to you that in the regeneration, when the Son of Man sits on the throne of his glory, you who have followed me will also sit on the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So there's our 12, having to do with government or judging. And Isaiah 9:6 says, for unto us a child is born, and the government will be upon his shoulders. And so we see the gematria of 6 plus 6 equaling 12 right there in the word. And that's our wonderful, amazing dalet. It represents the door, which represents Yeshua. It represents government. And it's a fabulous letter. Thank you for being here.